Yeah. Awit na lang si Darpa. Tingnan ang view. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's time, yeah. Yes. What am I?
So hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm actually going to be getting on some rice because I have plans to make some fried rice tomorrow. And for those of you guys who don't know, you shouldn't be making fried rice with fresh rice. It should be at least a day old rice, or the rice should be cold, at least a few hours finished cooking, because you don't want the rice grains to stick together when you're actually frying up the rice. So yeah, I have that as a special treat for tomorrow, so I'm just gonna get my rice on right now. So I have some rice right here that I'm just gonna wash really quickly. And if you really want chili rice, it's important to wash your rice pretty thoroughly so you can get off all the excess starch, which causes rice to stick together. So when this is cooking, it's not going to stick together as much as if you didn't wash your rice. You also want to get off all that dirt from off of the rice. So we're just going to bring this over to our stove real quick. So we're going to add in some salt. And then some butter. So we're just going to cover this and leave it to boil, then we're going to check back in a few minutes. So it's time to check in on our rice. It's boiling up nicely. So I'm gonna give this like 2 more minutes to let some more of that water dry down and evaporate out. Then we're gonna turn the stove down and leave it to steam. Alright, so it's been a few minutes, so I'm just gonna turn my stove down. And we're gonna leave this rice to steam for like 10 minutes, then we're gonna check in on it. So it's time to check in on our rice now. And this is perfectly cooked. So we're just gonna turn the stove off. And I'll see you guys tomorrow so I can get started on my fried rice. Sometimes I wake up by the door. The heart you caught was you waiting for. Even now the it's audio. I can't help myself from coming for you. I'll sit by your head. Watch the floor, cause I touch your face. But it's going on, I feel the hurricane screaming like your name. Your name. My lady, pretty good. I could stay under and close my eyes bleed forever. So currently it's the next day, and I have right here with me some lobster and some chicken. Those are the meats I'm going to be using in my fried rice. When I tell you guys I dreamt about this fried rice, I'm not even joking. I've been craving it since the other day and I just haven't had the time to make it. So, I don't know, I'll go on this ready. So, let's get ahead and just start cutting up our meats and prepping it. So, I'm just going to be cleaning up my lobsters the same way I always do. So, I just twist the head off first. Cut along this line right here by the tail. And I crack open both sides and cut them in a straight line. Then we just get our meat out. It's just as easy as that. And remove the intestine along the back side. So I'm just gonna finish cleaning up the rest of these. So my lobster is already finished being cleaned up. All that's left to do is wash it, but we're gonna wash it at the same time we're washing our chicken. Now for the chicken, I just like to use the thigh portion because it's much more juicy and tender when you compare it to the breast. So we're just gonna cut this and get the meat. We're gonna remove the bone from the thigh. So I just cut around the bone and remove all of that meat. Now this is what it should look like. You can actually save these bones for making chicken broth or soup. So yeah, that's one way you could actually reuse those instead of just throwing them away. We're gonna trim down some of this fat. And we're gonna leave it like this for now. It's easier to wash your meat when it's in larger pieces, so I'm just gonna leave it like that until we wash it. Then we're gonna cut it up. So I'm just gonna take my other pieces and do the same thing. So we have our lobster here. I'm just gonna wash it with some vinegar. Just making sure you get that cleaned off nicely. We're gonna give it another rinse. Then that's good to go. Now I'm gonna wash my hands and then we're gonna do our chicken. So basically the same washing process, just some water and some vinegar. We need another wash. And we're good to go. So we just want to get our chicken into these small pieces, because really and truly we just want it to be scattered all over the rice. We want to make sure we have it in some nice bite-sized pieces where you just chew as you go along with the rice and everything cuts down nicely. Every night I hope and pray that you know in my way. Once more, you never arms and all the magic of her charms. 'Cause I want the girl to call my own. I wanna dream with love, so I don't have to dream alone. Dream lover, where are you? With the love that's oh so true. For those of you who weren't able to watch the live last time, I am a huge fan of older music. I think it just has something special in the way it portrays its meanings. Like, it was so simplistic back then, but it gave you a different type of feeling. So I'm all for Air Supply, Bobby McDerran, Benny King, Frank Sinatra. You know the works of them. Al Green, Solomon Burke. And I tend to listen to those songs a lot when I'm cooking, because it just puts me in a really good mood. And you know, when you're cooking, you have to be cooking with love. You can't just cook and be upset or stressed out. It's gonna taste in your food. Like, the more love you cook with, the better your food will taste. I gave a letter to the postman. He put it in his side. But in the early next morning, he brought my letter back. And I said, return the sender, address unknown. Yeah, I gotta tell you, Elvis was something else. He walked through a party in the county jail. The prison mails and they began to wail. The band was jumping and the drum began to swing. You should have heard those knocked out jailbirds sing, let's roll. Everybody, let's roll. Everybody in the whole cell block was dancing to the jail rock. Number 47 said number 3, you the cutest jailbird I ever did see. Sure be delighted with your company. Come on, do the jail rock with me, let's roll. Everybody, let's roll. I wonder how many people actually remember those songs. Like when those songs just came out. I mean, I wasn't born yet, of course, but yeah, those songs back then were some of the most popular hits. There's a reason why Elvis was called the King of Rock. There was really not many people during his time who gave off the same vibe and energy that he was able to give off. So I'm done with my chicken, so I'm gonna wash my cutting board and knife and get back to cutting up my lobster. So I'm back with my clean board and knife, and I'm just gonna cut my lobster up now. So I like to cut it down the middle, then just follow the grooves with these little lines along the lobster. That's the best way of cutting it. Hey, so mommy is here. Mommy's here, guys, and she just passed me some water. So there she is.
Hey guys, how you doing? How you all doing? You doing good? You soon check in for Whitney.
So yeah, she usually does this whenever I'm in the kitchen making something. She always offers to pass me water or whatever I need, really. So you guys are gonna be seeing her more in the video. I think she smelled whatever I was making earlier. Because you can't smell rice when it's on the stove, so I think that's why she just came out. So do you want to know what I'm making?
Yeah.
I am making fried rice.
Yeah man, that's nice. You would eat some right now, me hungry.
Me have to go get back to you upon that about like half an hour before this finish, so yeah, me have to go hurry up. I'm gonna have to hurry up so mom can get something to eat, guys. And you don't know, mommy prefers my cooking over anyone else's. Isn't that right, mommy?
Yes. That
Oh,
is it.
better.
Big chef. I chef up something.
Okay, so I am almost finished. This is just the last piece. And then we're gonna move on to seasoning this. But once again, we're washing our board first, guys. You don't ever want to leave your board or knife dirty if you've just finished cutting up meat with it. That is one of the biggest mistakes you can make in your kitchen. So you just want to make sure you're keeping everything clean at the same time while you're dealing with any form of meat. Alright, so I'm gonna be making some marinade for my meat. Usually for fried rice, you'd see a lot of people, they just use salt and black pepper and some powder seasoning. But you don't know, as a Jamaican, I like a bit more flavor to my food. So I'm gonna be using some scallion. Just gonna cut this up and get it into my blender. Some red onion. Two cloves of garlic. Some scotch bonnet pepper. For that little kick of spice. Bell pepper for some extra flavor. I'm just going to be using about that much. You don't really need much of this. Some thyme. And like I mentioned last time, I just stripped the thyme leaves off, guys. Right, then we have a little pimento allspice, just a few balls of that, and we're gonna add in a little vinegar, just a dash, some soy sauce, a little browning because I want my meat to have a nice color to it. And a little oil. Now we're just going to start to blend. So we have our sauce here, all finished. We're just gonna pour it over our meat. If you guys could smell this sauce right now, it is absolutely amazing. Now we're going to add on some powdered seasoning. And a little black pepper. So we're good to go now. All we have to do is mix these. sure you're coating every piece of meat with that seasoning. We're going to cover them and leave them to marinate for a bit before we actually start cooking them, because you want to get that seasoning really well soaked into it. Alright, so we are pretty much done with those. So we're just going to leave them to marinate, and then we're going to get back and we're going to stir fry them up, and we're going to get started on our rice. Alright, so we have our pan on the stove right now. What you want to do is just add a little bit of oil to it, because you're really and truly going to be stir frying this. You don't want too much, you just want enough to really coat the pan. So this much is perfect. We're just gonna wait for that to heat up, then we're gonna add in our meat. I like to actually stir fry my lobster first, and then stir fry the chicken in that remaining oil that's left from the lobster, because it gives it such a great flavor. Alright, so our pan is heated up now. We're just gonna add in our lobster. And I know you guys can hear that sizzle. You smell this, mommy?
Guys, when food smells nice, you want to eat it all raw. You don't want to wait until it cooks.
Make sure you say
That
eat
is
it raw,
it.
though. That's not what I say. Hey guys, I know you can't see her right now, but she's actually over there washing some of the stuff I use. Because like I tell you guys, I like to wash as I go while I'm cooking.
Kitchen, you want to clean kitchen.
Yeah, I like to wash as I go when I'm cooking. But because I'm doing this and she really wants to eat, she was like, okay, just let me do it. And you just focus on the lobster and think. Because I should smell this so I should eat at the same time in the kitchen.
That's why we name food in. Food is what our name.
Alright, so while you guys are stir frying this, the lobster is going to release a bit of water. It's going to dry out relatively quickly, so don't worry about that. And it's going to start browning again. So yeah, this is just a part of the process. So this is what it's going to look like when the water dries out. It's going to start frying up actually. So I like to just cook it like this until it's a bit more brown, and then I take it out. Alright, so once it's looking like this, I'm just gonna take it out. Alright, so once it gets to this point, that's when I'm taking it out. It's looking really, really nice. Has a bit of a crispness to it, but not too much, and it's still moist on the inside. I'm just gonna get that out. I'm gonna get my pan back on the stove, and I'm gonna add a little knob of butter. This adds immense flavor to this. I'm just coating my pan with that butter. I'm gonna add in my chicken now. So while I'm stir frying my chicken, I'm just gonna get started on the seasonings that I'm gonna use in my fried rice. So here I actually have some scallion. And if you'll notice, I'm mostly using the green parts of these because they just taste better in fried rice. You want to chop these up nicely, very thinly. You can save some to use as garnish too, but not everybody likes to eat it like that, so it's all a matter of personal preference. If you guys want to do that, you can do it. Alright, so this is where our chicken's at so far. It's really getting that lovely brown color, and it's going to be ready pretty soon. I'll dice up some red onions. Alright, so at this point my chicken's pretty much done. So I'm going to turn my stove off. I'm going to turn my stove off and I'm just going to remove this from the pan. Now this may look like a lot, but it really isn't for the amount of rice that I'm cooking. We're adding all of these to really get some texture and extra flavor to your rice. Yeah, and we're going to be slicing up these bell peppers really thinly. And we're going to dice them up finely. And some Scotch bonnet, of course, because we still gotta have that little kick of spice to it. So I'm going to be using 3 cloves of garlic and garlic really gives this a really nice flavor. And for anybody who knows a thing or two about Chinese cooking, Chinese people love garlic in their food. The garlic can never be too much. So now we're gonna actually be ready to put our rice together. We just need to do one more thing, and that's breaking our eggs and mixing them out. So here I have my eggs. I'm just using 2. I'm gonna add a little salt to mine. You don't have to season your egg if you don't want to, because soy sauce does have a lot of flavor and it's going to coat everything when it's in the pot, but I just still like to add a little something to my eggs. Let it heat up for a bit. Then we're going to add a little oil to coat the bottom of the pot. So this is all heated up now, so we're going to add a little oil to it because we're going to be stir frying our seasonings that we cut up. You just want to make sure you coat the pan with this. And then we're going to add these in. So you want to stir fry these until they start to become almost clear looking and you start to smell the aroma coming up from these. So once these are done, I'm just going to add in my egg. Now typically you would actually cook all of these separately, then add them in later. But because I'm going to be working with so much rice, I'm just going to keep everything in one pot. You're just going to have to make sure you mix this out into your rice very well. Alright, so that's pretty much cooked. So now I'm going to start adding in my rice. So you just want to start spooning in the rice. And you're going to do this in batches. So you want to add in a little at a time. And you'll notice that your rice is still looking shelly. This is one of the main reasons why I told you guys use cold rice or day-old rice, because you'll notice it won't stick to each other. The grains won't stick to one another, so it'll still leave you with a pretty good texture. Because you don't want mushy fried rice. That's a whole different story. I'm just gonna start slowly adding in some soy sauce and mixing it around. So you want to make sure all of your rice gets coated with this sauce. And we're going to start adding in more rice and repeating that same process over and over. And we are going to add in our meat, guys, just not yet. Because remember, we're working with cold rice, so we kind of want the rice to get heated up before we add in our meat. So I want the rice to actually start cooking and being coated and steamed in that soy sauce before we add our meat. I just like my fried rice to be very simplistic, with just the seasonings, my egg, and the meat. I'm gonna add a little bit more sauce to this. Also, be careful about the amount of sauce you're using. You don't want to go overboard with this. This is really just to coat the rice with and give it that nice flavor. But you don't want to use too much. So it can become salty and overpowering very quickly if you're not careful. So I'm just going to add some more rice. And like I said, guys, I'm working with a ton of rice today because I have to cook so everyone can get something to eat. But if you were doing this just for yourself, you wouldn't need to be doing all of this. You'd pretty much be done within just a few minutes. I just gotta make sure I make enough for everyone. So yeah, this is really putting a workout on the arm. said, your goal is to coat the rice, so you don't want any white grains of rice peeking out. You want everything to be a beautiful brown color. So this does take some patience if you're making it in a huge amount, but when I tell you this is really worth it, you can trust me on that one. So our rice is pretty much going to start steaming a little bit now, so I'm going to be adding in my meat and mixing that around just to incorporate that flavor in there. But first, I'm actually going to add a bit of seasoning to my rice just to give it that extra kick of flavor. And there, you don't want too much because remember, the soy sauce already has some flavor into it. This is just for a little extra tang of flavor. So, this is smelling nice. So yeah, now I'm gonna add in my chicken and lobster. You want to just scatter these babies in and just mix them around into that rice. Heat it up evenly. We're just going to cover this, let it steam for like 2 minutes, and then we're good to go. We're gonna start plating.
Yes, people, so it's time for the plating of the food now. I'm not make no noise this evening because I'm hungry. Can't make no noise.
Make you wait too long?
Yeah, Whitney have me hungry a long time.
You know, so that sound like wickedness though?
Yeah, I have me a work in here, guys. She have me a work.
Don't make she trick on her, you know, she offer for wash the plates.
She have me a work and me hungry. So,
alright, madam, alright.
I can't talk.
So you get your food now, then, madam. It's okay.
So I can't talk. I have to go work on the food there now. Dream Island boss, later when you come, I feel your time to taste this. That is it. So guys, we're going with the taste test now and see what Whitney are going with. I'll tell you now if she bad.
I know for talking now. I can't tell them because I mean cook it.
Guys, I'm not telling no lie. So when you buy fried rice, you know, turn up like this. This bad. Everything in it tastes good. Everything just blending, it's just nice. Bad man.
Can I mean make it in or say half a nice? So the taste of it make up for the waiting. We have to wait. Was it worth the wait?
Yeah, that is it. Some love when my fried rice taste. Sometimes you buy fried rice and you have to buy roast chicken with it to eat it. Or you have to buy mala chicken with it. This now I'm not with it but what in it. The ingredients in it make it good.
yeah, that's one of the best things about this. You can eat it as a main dish. You don't need anything else with it. You can eat just this.
And guys, we're going to top it down with some fruit juice as usual.
I think that you're gonna like this.
Nice. Everything perfect.
So yeah, I have to make sure to get everything right, because Dad used to work in a Chinese restaurant, so he's very selective about dishes like this. So if it doesn't taste good, he will tell you. Trust me on that one. So later when he gets here, you guys are gonna hear what exactly he has to say about this. And for me, it's absolutely fantastic. So catch you guys later when he's here.
Yes guys, it's my favorite time again, you know. Yeah, just come in and have your rush out back same way. Yvonne and Whitney cook up some fried rice today with lobster and what is? Lobster and what is?
Chicken.
Lobster and chicken, guys. So I'm going to taste it now. Yeah. Right, lobster tastes like shrimp. Girl. Every time Whitney cook fried rice with the family, it's shot. The Chinaman have nothing over Whitney again. This is wonderful, guys. So, you know now every time we catch him on the table, so I do it. You come fast, but you know, bear with me. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I just do the right thing. Yeah, man. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, I will catch you in another one, as we say. So, bless upon yourself and walk good. YWK style. That is it, guys.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.